Hello and welcome to another horrific review. I'm joined once again by Cameron and Adam as we continue into our foray into the world of Clive Barker, everyone's favourite sex pest.
Fuck yeah.
And of course, it was only a matter of time because before we made it this absolute gem of cinematic genius that is Rawhead Rex.
I kept hoping. I was like, all right, let's. Hopefully he forgets about this one. Admittedly, the first time I saw it, man, that was just like the whole time. So little setup. I used to get these goofy little, you know the shit you get in, like grade school or whatever, the little 12 packs of Valentine's cards and hand them out to your friends and shit. Well, I used to get those, but they were horror related. And that was one of the cards was a Rawhead Rex one. And
what?
So what I would do is I would buy. Yeah, they're fucking great. Next time you're over, you'll have to see them. But yeah, so I would get the 12 pack, and then it was 9 pack, whatever. But I would get all the movies on the list or in the card pack if we didn't have them, and then that's what we do each night leading up to Valentine's Day. I'd come home, we'd watch a schlocky film, give her a card, and it was all fun. This is one that neither of us had seen, so I got it. And we're like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is the end of the fucking week. This is Valentine's Day. We're going to watch something super romantic. Put this in, and half the movie was spent just going like this to each other. Like, what the fuck are we watching? Is this Clive Barker?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And no romantic night should involve looking at each other.
No, absolutely not. That just shuts it down right then and there. I mean, fucking look at this. Like,
that's great.
You gotta hide that shit.
Hide it behind Rawhead Rex.
Good. This movie, released in 1986, it tells the tale of an ancient creature called Rawhead from a slumber near an Irish village and goes on a rampage, killing everyone in sight, which isn't strictly true. But the movie was made on a budget of £1.5 million. It was released in 203 screens, but still managed to earn $1.8 million.
It's amazing.
Considering its limited release,
it's amazing.
Well,
that is rather impressive.
Let's see.
It really is, actually. I mean, we had to say this is based off of a short story that was in Books of Blood, Volume 3, that was a massive hit when it was released. It shattered perceptions of what horror could be at the time because it challenged the idea of religion. It challenged the idea of gender and sexuality. It challenged the idea of what horror could actually be, because there's this huge backstory subplot to Rawhead Rex that has a lot to do with ancient culture and sexuality and femininity and power and toxic masculinity, and like there's this huge subtext to everything in that short story. So it makes sense that they would want to try to make it into a feature film,
except they did it in 80s cheesy horror style.
Not only that,
but it was the 80s.
They strayed so far from it.
Yeah,
like they didn't do the whole setup. Like there's a tiny bit of that book that's the setup of what this is and what the place is and what it was and the interlopers, and it didn't do any of that. Like even like the first scary part of the movie or the book that we get is the stone being moved. That was so goofy. It's like none of the scare was there, and admittedly, it's a longer format, so they could have drawn that shit out.
It was 86 minutes long. They had enough time, and
for sure.
No, not arguing the runtime.
No, but they had enough time
to scenes
accurately portray the book. Like even the book, like I said, the beginning scene with the stone in the book, it makes more sense. In the movie, you've got 3 men on a tractor moving this freaking huge menhir, freaking monolithic, which. The book's set in England, but they decided to film it in Ireland and make it an Irish one for some reason.
Well, there's actually a reason for that.
Probably location or...
Well, no, it was because of sensibility. The British censors would have been on their asses if they filmed it in England, so they moved to Ireland to get away from the censors. So they thought they could get away with more by going to Ireland, but they didn't actually follow the script that Clive Barker had put out, and the director just sort of took it off in a direction he wanted.
You know, Ireland still has blasphemy laws.
No way.
Damn.
No shit.
I did not.
if you like the material in this is obviously about Christianity over original paganism, and actually even further back, Platonic tribes, because Celtic came like at the same time as the Roman Empire. But when the Roman Empire went to Britannica, the Celts went to Hibernia, and all that stuff. So there's even more ancient cultures than the typical pagan stuff, which annoys me greatly because there's such a wealth of storytelling possibility and folklore that's just chucked out of the, it's just throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Because of the whole Celtic nonsense. And there's a deeper story there. And they just, every time they try and touch on it, we talked about it with Men, we've talked about it with other movies, they just look at the superficial aspect of it and they don't delve deep. And it's just missing so much of an opportunity.
Yeah.
But I think the intro in the book, where it was just a stone, he thought he was just clearing a boulder instead of that huge, like, Stonehenge pillar type thing, which,
to
be
be
honest,
carved monolith. Like, why would you fuck with it?
But you wouldn't. That's the thing. There'd be 100 committees after you. If you tried to move something like that, there'd be freaking protests and freaking hippies and all sorts of shit coming after you. That's not realistic.
Right.
That'd be a protected site, and there'd be pilgrims to it every year. And like back home, there's a place called Struel Wells, which is an ancient pagan site, but it's on now I think it's Church of Ireland's ground, and the pagans and the Christians are always at each other every year because the Christian church obviously doesn't want the pagans on having their festivals, and then the pagans are saying that they stole it. And this is just one example of hundreds, and it's all over the British Isles. Like this thing has been. It was only sort of resolved in the 50s where they unbanned witchcraft.
Shit.
Like, you got to understand that. This battle has been going on since pre-Roman times.
Gotta love Christianity, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's
always got to ruin everything.
Come in and swing their dick. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's human nature, though.
Because
you put a fundamental Christian and you put a fundamental SJW Wokus, and they're two sides of the same coin. They're both idiots.
Definitely.
And
there's also like a whole plethora of other types of people.
but those are always the loudest.
Yeah, they're the ones that get in your nerves the most. Like, you encounter one of those two, and really, you swap their uniform, and they're the same person. While the rest of us are trying to get on with their shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
the vicar
really
certainly like swapped quickly in the film.
Oh, yes.
Like, they start by saying hallelujah, and it ends with him getting into water sports. Like,
oh, yeah, I was going to get that. Look, Barker is a fucking sex pest. Like, that man's a deviant. I'm surprised he's only gay. Like, he's somebody I would consider as trisexual. Just try anything, he's just one of those people that.
Well, it's so funny though, because like if you read like interviews and shit, like what was it? I think it was the introduction, the re-release of Books of Blood, but as the collection versus like the individual books. He's talking about how much of a fucking poopy pants essentially he is, like talking about going down to like Mardi Gras or some shit with his husband, boyfriend, whatever. And
what was his boyfriend at the time?
The partner is like all about it, fucking full leather, just like, yeah, let's do this shit. And he's just like, I don't know. And it's like, what, you? Come on.
Yeah, but he's I get him, right? Because see the flamboyant types and that, they're usually like two pump wonders. Let's be honest. The ones that talk about their sexuality the most and put it out there are shit in the sack.
Can confirm.
The more they talk about it and how they're so kinky and this and that, they're fucking crap. And that's why they need that, because they can't orgasm or give someone an orgasm to save their lives.
That's the whole aspect of it, is like the story is the experience.
But Barker is a proper fucking sex pest.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, of course.
He's scared. Like when he's Midnight Meat Train. He started frightening the fucking director when he starts talking about how he took props from the set home to fucking sex play with. You know what I mean? Like the butcher's apron, the steel one that Mahogany was wearing. Like, he took that home for sex play.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he just fucking does it. You know, he doesn't talk about it. He just got, oh yeah, and if you do that, and rubs against your nipples and stuff. And you're
I
like,
thought it was just naturally patinaed, but it
It's
was not.
So
patina'd.
he
It's
lives by his
Mantina.
creed. That's what I love about Barker, right? He lives by his creed. He doesn't fuck about.
Yeah.
You know, and he's not one of these, oh, I'm so gay. He's like fucking fooling you over the table. This is fucking gay, bitch. You know,
Right.
and that's something like that I can love and respect.
Thing is, like in his writing, I don't get the homosexuality. I just get the
Right.
sexuality.
Yeah, that's the
And
thing.
That's
like.
what I'm
Like,
talking about.
I
He's a
didn't
proper
know.
deviant. He's not just under the banner of gay. You know, he's proper. He loves what he loves. He's full on board, balls deep. You know,
Mhm.
that's the type of person
Literally,
he is.
Yeah.
In every aspect of his life.
Uh-huh.
So that's why you don't have to be the thing to relate to the thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah,
I
it
can
was
love and
years before I
respect
knew
and
he was
enjoy
gay.
this man's work and
Yeah.
actually get slightly titillated
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
he's
except for when he starts describing vagina, because it's always like a gash. It's always like a bloody mess. You know, like every time he tries to describe sex or
we've
a
got the
woman
chat started.
fingering herself or just something, it's always like the worst attempt because he has no sense of place for that. You know, he just doesn't understand the delicacy, you know.
I don't know, man. Cold Hard Canyon,
That is a good one,
It
though.
got me
That
sometimes.
is a
I'm like,
good one.
oh,
I have a funny
geez,
feeling.
I should turn this off.
I declare.
Barker will be a type. If he decided to go to the dark side, if as he would consider it, and give it a go,
Mhm.
he would cause a few wet spots. Like he's just that. You know what I mean? He's a
got one
master
right
of his
here right now.
craft.
That right?
Like seriously, he's that type. He just go for it. You know, okay,
Mhm.
right. I'm going to be straight for a minute, and he would just fucking be what do you call him? Casanova. You know what I mean?
Oh,
He just
yeah.
fucking just pound it and crack on. He'd be like, oh well, that was fun. Right, back to the real world.
It'd be like the ending beginning of Irreversible, but less rapey, I think. Like, oh hey, I see what this is all about. I can get into this.
Let's do it. Yeah. All right. Well,
But that's what the filmmakers like we've talked about this ad nauseum.
Mhm.
Filmmakers and movie studios just can't handle Barker. They just,
Yeah.
oh, here's a famous one. Oh shit, that's Barker. You know, that's I think that's what
I mean, at this
we're gonna
point,
enjoy.
there was no real sense of Barker. He put out his books of blood, and so as far as an author is concerned, it was, you know, everyone loved it, and that's why they wanted to make all the films and stuff. But like the sense of him, I don't think was even a thing at this point until after Hellraiser came out. Then people started like re-examining his stories and his film, and they saw how sort of sexual he actually was and sort of made those connections. But up until now, like at this point that this film was made, I think the director was literally like, well, here's a sort of a crazy sexual short story about ancient history and monsters of, you know, pre-Christian monsters. I'm going to make this into a really great monster romp. And so there was never any moment of the studio saying we should, you know, steer clear of his over sexuality, or we should try to, you know, get in and meddle. This was just the director straight up going, I'm going to make my film.
Mhm.
Fuck your script.
Yeah, but we'll get that later.
Hmm?
We'll partly have to be thankful for this movie,
Oh yeah, for sure.
but we'll get on that later on.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for this movie, greater things wouldn't have happened.
Yep.
So, but have to get right. Fucking plastic patties. Like we start off with the plastic patties coming in. I'm just like, oh god, I nearly switched off. And I'm like, oh no, my heritage.
Right.
Man, these Yankees were needed to save you Irish blokes. All right. If it wasn't for these Yanks, you would have died. All of you.
That's true. All them fucking the
Sorry.
cops didn't know what they were doing. It was just
took one American.
one guy.
One maggot. Yeah. With the personality.
All the shit you want, he
like,
saved you. You're
Yes,
welcome.
100%. Well, I mean,
whoa.
that's the American condition, is having the personality.
Excuse
of a
me.
Like,
That's not my side of the border. So fucking behave. Right?
oh man, and I missed it. Damn it.
Right. No freaking Garda and Chicana, all that shit where I'm from. Rawhead Rex. If you had to come up in Belfast, he just got the shit kicked out of him
Yeah.
because he'd have had a sight and it'd have been in the wrong neighborhood, and they'd be like, "Oi, this is our neighborhood, you fuck off."
I loved it when they were trying to step up to him and they're like beating him in the caravan camp.
Mhm.
Right. You've seen Snatch.
Yes. That was totally Snatch.
That's what should have happened. Right.
Brad Pitt
That's what
just
should
takes
have
his shirt
happened.
off.
Not that shit. I don't know what the hell's going on with this. That's no Peggy camp.
Right.
Because Rawhead Rex would have been eaten alive, fucking carved up and fed to the dogs or something. This, come on in, the head sunk in.
Dude, he was ripping people's arms off like he was a Wookiee. Like,
Yeah,
he was
pretty
dope.
funny.
And Peter Mayhew was going to play him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
what was the
he was
note?
cost too much though.
He was originally considered to play,
Yeah,
but his fee was too high. Yeah.
right. I have to say though, strangest characters is Elaine. I can't warm to her or get my. It took me a minute to sort of not hate her instantly. What's your take on her character? Because honestly, I'm still scratching my head a bit.
She was in a different fucking movie than everybody else.
Her face just got me.
Ugh.
And minute she opened
Yeah.
her mouth. Like they start off doing her sultry in the what do you call it, the nightrobe stuff, showing about a leg, and then she turns around, you're like, oh god, no. Need a couple of pints of that, and then she opened her mouth, you're like, oh god, no.
I need more than a couple. Fuck.
And the actor that's playing the husband, like, fair play to him because he was acting.
I feel like he did a pretty good job for what he was given.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
he was given a lot. to
He
deal with.
definitely seemed interested in her.
There's
They're
that
just
like
out
out on
in the
the
middle of a
street when they just
courtyard
start
like that.
making out,
Yeah.
right? That was hilarious.
Oh, and the tongue, and they're like, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, that's how I kissed in the 80s, and I was a kid.
Yeah, exactly. You'll learn that's not how you do it unless you're sloppy fucking drunk. But
Yeah.
I don't think they were sloppy drunk.
I was trying to get to the molars at some point.
That's what the old tonsil tickling term comes. It's like,
Yeah. I coined that. That was me.
go on, man.
Did you have popcorn last night?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was 2 weeks ago. I haven't flossed.
Oh dear. But we kind of jumped in and talked about this. The whole start of the moving the men here, like that was just daft. It was overacted, played, and it
It was
wouldn't have
acted?
happened.
I didn't see I didn't see acting at all. It was
They
bad.
just got a couple of farmers in here, move that, and then
Yeah.
that's just going.
They were straight up caricatures of like local folk. You know?
Yeah, I was waiting to see a leprechaun like prancing by.
Skipping on past, that would be a good
Oh,
one.
you'll never get mine.
Rawhead Rex versus Leprechaun.
I fucking sold right now. I would
I would watch that. I would 100%
definitely
watch that.
fucking watch that.
It would be better than the Willow series. Get fucking Warwick Davis back in here.
I mean, shit, probably better than some of the fucking other leprechaun movies, which I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
But,
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Actually, we were talking about this a little bit ago. I think Leprechaun, the Warwick Davis Leprechaun, is the baby version of Rawhead Rex, and Rawhead Rex is a grown-up version of Leprechaun. Right?
Yeah, probably.
I feel like
I
that
could see
tracks.
it. Yeah.
What
Yeah,
if Rawhead Rex is like a kangaroo and he has a leprechaun in his pouch?
he has a marsupial bite, and then Warwick Davis pops
I
out.
believe it. I mean, fucking
Yeah,
got the
it'd
shape
be
of a kangaroo
amazing.
waist.
Or what do you call it? Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome.
Yes.
To be Master Blaster.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Who runs our?
There we go. That's the mashup that we need.
Yes.
Fucking Leprechaun and Rawhead Rex Beyond the Thunderdome.
Who would he? No, right. Rawhead Rex, Master Blaster with Leprechaun on his little pack. Who would he fight?
So, who
By
would
the way,
fight?
this is more interesting than the actual movie. That's why we're
100%. No,
talking
I'm like legit on board. Like, man, I would fucking sign off right now and go watch this shit.
Yeah. I feel like there's got to be like a unicorn that he beats up. You know,
Or runs over.
yeah, that would be,
Runs over and then jumps out of the car and starts punching the shit out of it. And then uses
dear.
its
Poor
laser
unicorn.
eyes to hypnotize it, I guess.
Yeah. And then it just turns into like a weird porno. Rawhead Rex and Unicorn.
That
Lots
could
of
work.
water
While Warwick
sports.
Davis is in the
Lots of
corner
love.
just beating it.
He's just
Yeah,
trying to
Rawhead
avoid the
Rex
unicorn
pissing on
penis.
Warwick Davis. And Warwick Davis were like, yeah. Oh god. Yes,
right.
we're getting that scene.
Sorry, people.
Just,
I think we need to make this happen. I mean, that just sounds like a cash cow right
let's
there.
get a Kickstarter going. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah. What are your credentials? Fuck you are my credentials. Give me
yeah,
money.
I just want to do it. Fucking help. But then get introduced to this character, Declan, the church verger.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
He was an actor.
He definitely was.
I actually really liked it when he went crazy. Like I thought the actor did a good job with crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, we open with the film and he sang Hallelujah like 87 times.
Mm-hmm. It's because he forgot the words to the rest of the song.
Fucking torture listening to that goddamn congregation sing Hallelujah. It's just like, do 1 or 2 or 3 maybe, but stop after 10. But it just kept going, and they kept flashing forward to the Americans, then back to the fucking singing, and it was just painful. And it's all his fault because he was leaving.
Almost as painful as being in church.
Yeah, I think they wanted you to feel it. You know the.
Yeah, no, I totally felt it. I was having flashbacks.
Hallelujah.
Like, no, mommy, don't make me.
I don't want to do this anymore. I was lucky enough, actually. When I said no to my parents, they were okay with it.
Wow.
Yeah, same here.
But it took me up until I was 12. I think I started actively saying fuck this at like 8. And it wasn't until 12 that they were finally like, whatever.
But here's the problem, though. Even though your parents said no, doesn't mean the church did.
Oh, no, I know.
They came looking for you.
Yeah, I was fighting with
legit.
them.
I mean, legit fucking parish members would come looking for you. You weren't at Sunday school.
Fuck?
Where were you? Knocking your door and all sorts of shit.
What?
Yeah, same.
What?
Yeah, it fucking. I mean, it mellowed out once I turned into an adult, but even then, it was still, like once or twice a year, people would show up to my house up until I think I was like 26 when I finally got out of the church, like got everything pulled out of the records and shit. And even then, it was only because I threatened violence.
Jeez.
Like, next person that shows up's getting stabbed, and I'm gonna sue you.
After I stab you.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, duh.
Yeah. First.
They love
Sometimes the message just has to be pointed.
Yeah.
It's fun times. Don't miss that shit whatsoever. But oh, by the way, is anybody surprised that Barker didn't like this movie?
No.
Like, it's a running theme.
There wasn't as much piss in it.
That's the. He's like, I had buckets of piss.
Oh, there was a lot of piss.
Everyone should have been pissed on. That was the whole point. What's this eating business?
Well, he wanted a walking phallus.
Yeah.
As Rawhead Rex, not like a big old monster. So he was pissed that it wasn't a walking penis.
Okay, so I have this theory. Tell me if it would have worked. Because those eyes are fucking shocking.
Yeah,
if you had googly eyes instead of those freaking red light bulb things, would have worked better.
Googly eyes?
I mean, I'd have been laughing my ass off.
When he came, they just went... like, he could have shook his head and they just went... And then they could have superimposed with the 80s fucking Highlander style fucking graphics.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. They were fun.
That hurt. Even as a kid, seeing shit like that was like, oh. Technology?
In the book, he crawls out of the ground, and you hear the thoughts of Rawhead as he's like, finally, freedom, they've released me, and of the vapors. But this, he just jumps out and like, da-da!
Yeah.
Like a current, you know what I mean?
And all the like, are you a fucking Tuscan kid? Like, what the
hell? Yeah, man.
And I'm disappointed as well that he ate the farmer instead of planting them upside down. Like, that would have been so much better.
It would have been pretty cool.
Mm.
I really like the story so much better. Like, everything about the story is so much better. You have like this sense of history. Barker does this really wonderful thing where he ties into these sort of ancient themes, these pre-Christian themes that no other author that I know of really has been able to tie into. He did a video game called Undying back in the day, which
I tried to find that. It's only available in PC-ROM, and I'm like,
oh, it's amazing. It's on GOG.com. It's like Steam, except it's a different platform, but it's totally worth checking out. I used to do a playthrough for it and everything, but anyway, it does the same thing where it talks about these sort of prehistory, sort of ancient runes, and it's all centered around this like family's ancient history and their connection and corruption of the land from the land, and like that's this kind of stuff that like is the bread and butter for Clive Barker, but it never really translates well whenever it comes to the screen. And I don't know if it's because people don't understand it.
It's not enough, and it's one of my bugbears, okay? Because everyone thinks, especially historians here, everything started like 1800 and that was it.
Right.
Or 1600. Yeah. That's when history started. And you're like, fuck away off. That's like modern history compared to these islands are ancient.
Yeah.
And the original tribes, like the Britannic British tribes, and I'm not talking about political British, I'm talking about the British Isles. Pre-Celt, this land has been going on for millennia. Before the Celts are a recent invader, same as the Romans, same as the Anglo-Saxons. You know, it's this whole mad mash of different cultures, and Vikings came over for a bit and they got their balls kicked, but the landed a few places, and you know, I mean, there's so much ancient history and culture and storytelling possibilities that you only scratch the surface of, but it's all been glossed over as if, I don't know, it's like there's a shame. It's weird. And every time you try to touch on it,
it's the hiding, like it's what the winners do. They hide the past of everything else so that it's only them that exist in history.
Yeah. Yeah, there's also something strange about especially that band around our planet, because up until the last ice age, it was completely dominated with ice, right? Until 12,000 years ago. And so we know that there was no life there at all until the ice age ended. And then mankind thrived there. But it wasn't until that point. Whereas you look south and there is history that goes way back during the ice age. And so I think that has a lot to do with it. Because when we start to think about ancient prehistory, we're thinking about the lower spots, the locations like Africa and the Middle East and fucking Asian stuff. We're not thinking of those upper locations.
The northern hemisphere,
yeah,
it's more southern hemisphere rather than northern.
And I think that has a lot to do with it.
But there's so much, and that's the thing I've always said about horror. Horror is the only genre that goes looking for this stuff because it's storytelling potential. Every other genre shies away from it, but horror is the one that goes digging, which is why I love this. That's why I love the horror genre so much.
Yeah.
Because there is that open-mindedness of, oh, here's a potential story. Here's something that hasn't been told before that could be potentially horrifying. Let's do it.
Well, this one in particular did some great things where it just not only compared and contrasted cultural differences between this prehistory religious of Rawhead Rex and the post-conflict of Christianity sort of trying to wipe everything out. It also frames it in this context of masculinity and femininity, and this idea that those
terms are illegal now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, the Holy Church of Folk says we're not allowed to.
Versus they, them. Where, like the ancient Picts, which were pre-Scottish and Irish, were ruled by the feminine side. The feminine side was the landowners. And so as soon as Christianity came in, they were, of course, male-dominated. They completely interbred and wiped out that ancient culture and created, modern day Scots. And so I understand there's this fight between not just sexuality and gender, but also that fight becomes a social political power struggle, that men have subdued women for virtually all of recorded history intentionally. And I think a lot of it has to do with the inability of men to actually create life, our inability to actually have any dominion over this world other than destroying it and trying to control and subdue
Well,
it.
I kind of disagree, because that's once again the modern lens through, because there's no way you'd survive. Like,
That's
we're seeing
literally
it
what's
now.
happened, though, with like the Roman Catholic Church. They subdued all women.
Well,
And
that's
it's not
the
just
Roman,
them;
you know, I
it's
mean,
all
that's the Roman
Abrahamic
Catholics.
religions.
They're fucking idiots anyway. And once again, that bore out of the Roman Empire, which, like today, we're seeing the fall of the Western culture, because the actual, you know, I mean, the Roman Empire fell because it fell into degeneracy. It looked more at its genitals than actually fucking building walls and fucking keeping things fucking, you know, running.
I mean, it's a lot more than that, but like the reality is that they, you know, it was very much a male-dominated society that was tamping down the ability of ancient feminine religious iconography.
Because the people that tilled the fields understood.
Yeah.
You needed, you know what I mean, for survival. You needed the hunter-gatherers. You needed people to look after the house. Both had to work together. Fuck off.
Yeah. Nah.
Fucking speaking garlic. I don't know, you fucking get these lesser life forms come up. trying to be brave online. But, the normal peasant that tilled the fields and understood this, you need balance. It's when you have people that, like we're seeing today, that don't actually have to work to survive. They don't have to actually till the land. They don't have to look for food. They don't have to generate it. They don't have to worry about the roof over their head. That's when they start destroying the balance. I know. Calm your wee self down, Oliver. We're all good.
No,
Fight,
you're not
fight,
kidding, damn it.
Fight.
Your day will fucking come at some point, man. Just hold out hope.
Here's the thing, though, and that's what your side of the point don't understand. We'll do this, right? We'll have a punch up in the bar, and then we're buying each other pints afterwards. You know what I mean? Fuck it, it's all part of it. But this is all. We have been like this for millennia, and that's what I'm saying. It's so deep that, like, individual tribes, we still would beat each other over the heads. It's fucking just, but that's how you create a warrior culture. That's how you test each other. That's how you get stronger. That's the, you know, survival of the fittest. That's the whole making the species stronger. But once it becomes wishy-washy, that's when the balance goes out of whack. That's when, like I said, masculine energy, feminine energy, you know, have to work in balance. But when you start destroying that balance, like when the Roman, like I said, the Roman Catholic Church decided to be male dominated. When you see now trying to be female dominated and destroying men, that's when society crumbles. And we have to remember, you know, we need each other, or else we're finished.
Yeah.
But we'll have to understand who we are as creatures. You know, we fucking have our strengths and weaknesses, and that's what we're designed to complement each other.
Right. I mean, I brought it up in the
the whole point
context
of
of the
this
story where Rawhead Rex is literally the personification of that ancient monstrosity of masculinity that is then ultimately
unchecked,
destroyed by
unbalanced.
that is then destroyed by the femininity of the sort of ancient mother figure, the icon.
And it's the old paganism, the crone, the mother.
Yeah.
You know, then you've got the green man. I can't remember the other one. Shit. You know, the one that flips the other side of the green man. It's always been about balance. And human tribes have known for, sorry, there's lightning strikes now. I'm probably going to get like, if I go up in a puff of smoke here, I've obviously committed something. It's either the holy woke god or the holy Christian god or something. It's like decided I'm taking him out.
God. Is that Buddy Christ?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's once again, there's so much to delve into, but it just gets superficially glossed over.
It totally does. Like, we're going way deeper than this movie is.
Yeah. But that's part of the frustration, I think, with this movie, though.
Well, it's like you don't even get the shit that everybody knows about, like the hyper Christian like area. Like when you go into that church, it doesn't feel like a church, even though it's a church. It's just so weird that everything is just sort of, I don't know. It's, I mean, superficial, I guess, for lack of better term. Like there's not much depth to anything in this.
No, there's a series set in Ireland, obviously finished, but it's called Father Ted. Right. And their church in Craggy Island is more authentic than this shit.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I used to watch this shit all the time as a kid.
I don't know. It's but I think that's the problem. I don't know whether it's the quality of the acting. They did it in the cheap. Well, $1.5 million. I don't know how to spend that amount of money
making this terrible. I mean, the lack of acting helped make this terrible.
Yeah, definitely.
He would have been better in this movie. Do you think?
I would.
If Father Ted
we wouldn't be talking
movie,
shit. We would be singing its praises.
It's like, or Declan turns up. Oh, if fucking Declan had to be Declan out of Father Ted instead of this fucking lunatic.
Dude, I love Declan so much.
Oh.
He's just a crazy guy.
Is that Rawhead Ted? Oh, he's awful big, isn't he?
I want to watch this version of the movie now so bad.
Oh,
that'd be fucking great.
Should this have been a comedy?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that the problem?
If this
just
would have
looks
been
like a comedy, it acts like a comedy, but they're trying to make it serious. Is that what the disconnect is with us?
So I think if they would have released this, let's say 6 years later, and edited it just enough so that it came off as a comedy versus an attempt at a serious horror film, I think it would have been more well received. Yeah,
I think that's the jarring thing. There's a major disconnect between what the movie's trying to show you and what it actually does.
Yeah.
There was a trope in this, the whole brainwashing thing when they touched the altar, which nobody noticed until now. You know, that didn't happen. Like, nobody noticed the glowing red eyes that would permeate the church.
Yeah, no, it's just it's common for people to be outside the church with some lasers like shining in the window.
Yeah, nobody noticed that before, or nobody's ever touched the altar before and got brainwashed.
Well, the shit that I don't understand about it is, it's like, okay, we get it, like it's revealed at the end of the movie that's where the idol is that takes him down, but why is it the container holding the idol that takes him down what makes you become brainwashed by him? Like, I understand the googly eye thing.
To go into the church. He can't step in the church because that adults are.
Yeah, but then he steps in the church, no problem.
Yeah, it was very.
I don't know.
It's like he could go 6 feet in. He couldn't go 12 feet in.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
It was like he could get to the pews, just not past the pews, and that's really no. I think the way my sort of headcanon worked it out was that as soon as he was released, because it was ultimately he was being squashed by the femininity was being squashed by the masculinity, and so as soon as he was released, that masculine energy could then manifest itself, not just with him going through and sort of rampaging and stuff, but also it then empowered the masculinity to sort of suppress that which would then destroy him. And so that's his fear of this femininity is what drives him throughout everything. I mean, that's why he didn't, in the novel, it's because she's on her period, and so he doesn't want to get close to that bloody mess, literally. And then in the film, it was the pregnancy. He was like, "Ooh, vaginas, ma!" and ran away,
like Barker himself.
Yeah, just like Barker himself.
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do with that."
I wanted to bring that point up actually. Rawhead, he wouldn't kill a pregnant woman. But then he'll eat a child, no problem.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's vagina, man.
It's just like the whole, can't get abortions because it's murdering kids, but as soon as they come out, fuck it, they can die.
Yeah. Oh, so Rawhead Rex is a Republican. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That tracks.
Actually, both are still finding graves down there. Now, like bringing the what do you call it? The Magdalene laundries. Where they're just wells filled with babies. So once it was all right, they're holy until they popped out, and then they just fucking chucked them down the well.
I mean,
Like you're talking thousands of babies. I'm shit you not. Look it up.
That's some excellent birth control or post-birth.
So you go through a lot of time to like incubate and birth, and then it's like wow. Like the Spartans would have been proud.
Yeah.
In fact, even the Spartans would have gone, "Whoa, we
That's
could
a little
use that
much.
one."
There's some good ones in there. They're all rummaging through it.
Funny.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Could do something with that.
I think this one's still alive. Head falls off. Oh, never mind.
That should be a scene in this new version of Rawhead Rex.
Yeah, this will be in the sequel.
Yeah.
Which actually was teased at the end of this. Which is the thing.
Yeah.
No more.
No.
I mean, there was rumors of it being remade, but they sort of fell flat after a little while.
Yeah, that's fine. It's especially in our modern culture. Like, I don't think you could make it. Like, I hate to say that there's subtext to this movie because it's all kind of out in the open. But if there was a way to make it more on the nose, like somebody literally walking behind Rawhead Rex and preaching, men are bad, women are good. Like, I feel like that's what the remake would be.
Oh, then you'd have a strong female character.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we don't need that. Fucking what's her face?
I know what you're
Lawrence.
referencing.
Jennifer
I don't know
Lawrence.
that everyone else knows what you're referencing.
Huh?
The strong female character. Like that, I feel like there has to
Because
be
we never had
those
those before fucking.
That's my
2016.
point. Is that we're not saying there shouldn't be a strong female character. We're saying there shouldn't be a what is considered nowadays in cinema as a strong female character. You know, the unrealistic, ridiculous, comical version of what a strong female character actually has been for all of cinematic and literature history. So
yeah.
There's other channels that have done this ad nauseum, like list like fucking 50, 60 plus characters, actresses, just that have been our heroes since the birth of cinema. But yeah, they don't count until Jennifer Lawrence did it. He was the first.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Did you say he was the first?
Maybe. Look, it depends what week it is. You know what I mean?
Oh man. So where are we on this thing?
Let's see. What was the actual end goal for Rawhead?
Mayhem.
But was it though? Because he
just wants to eat, you know. He's
well, especially
he never finished his meals. Like if he should have had his pudding because he didn't eat his veg.
How can you have your pudding if you don't eat your meat? Yeah,
he would start off narfing down the victim, take 2 bites, and then move on to the next one. You're like, dude.
Not even that in this. Like in this, he'd be like, I'm gonna take this piece. This looks good. Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna go straight to
just hang it here.
And then he'd go grab somebody else. It's like, okay, I understand getting skinned would probably be pretty painful, but you're not gonna die from having a chunk like this taken off your belly. Like, come on.
There was one scene where he's biting one of the victims' necks, and he didn't. Like he just got them out there, and the blood starts spilling before the head.
That's all of them. He couldn't close and open his mouth. His 2 mouths.
Oh god!
The thing I couldn't get
buckled.
past, like this is another example of how, you know, upgrading the resolution isn't always a good idea for these. Like, was it actually designed that he had 2 mouths, or was that just like, oh no, the grain will cover it, and then it didn't? Like that
had to be 2 mouths because the second mouth was not a normal mouth. I mean, it was normal for the British Isles.
You go to the West Country, you know what I mean? You flipping uncle, brother, cousins.
We might fuck our cousins, boy, but we got good chompers.
We got dental and toothbrushes. Oh yeah. No, it was just all fucked up. There's no way that was supposed to be a real mouth. It was just like this weird alien thing, you know.
Yeah.
Which I was always kind of hoping like the other one would like snap out.
Yeah, like that would have
That would
made
be
it
cool.
a little bit more palatable because there's
Yeah.
clearly a mouth in there going chop 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 chop. chop. Well, this is like, and the whole idea of
That's
like,
so
why
funny.
wouldn't they already put so much time into making the face like an animatronic anyways? Why
Yeah.
didn't they do this shit with the teeth getting bigger like Trantor? Like that would have been fucking cool.
Hell yeah.
And that
This
was
is
in the book.
1986. It's not 1980, so it's not as if the whole creature effects, practical effects, is well on its way at this point.
Mhm.
Right.
I mean, you can understand if this was 1980 or 1979,
Yeah.
being a bit ropey, but 1.5 million at that time, and it's well, like we're talking past the midpoint of the 80s. This is like the 80s horror genre has been a perfected machine.
Mhm.
This shouldn't be a problem. Fucking
Yeah, 'cause,
B
I mean,
movies
this
made
is
at the
like-
time were better.
This is the same time of the of history that we're getting like what was it? Friday the 13th part 5, part 6. Like come on, there's people that can do that shit.
Yeah, more than enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the whole. I think the best way to describe this movie is frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Especially after reading it and then immediately going into it, it's like, God, there was so much potential.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it was a lot better than the first viewing. The first viewing, I remember a completely different movie. So it was nice. It was, I guess, palatable. It's not one that I would ever pick up. I kind of regret buying it, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's just you can't think of it in terms of the story. You just have to think camp. Like this is a drive-in campy monster movie.
Mhm.
And even then it's not great. But if you're doing 2 films, then you're like, oh well, I'll just sit through this one too. Like, you know, all I'm doing is finger banging my girlfriend anyway.
Yeah, this is like the perfect B movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go see like, you know, I don't know, The Exorcist, and then you stay for this.
Yeah, you're already out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just hang out.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you come into this thinking it's a Clive Barker film, you are going to be disappointed 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's not good at all.
Yeah, and then, like I said, the whole thing with the village and the caravan site, and then there's it's so-called rampage. It's just so lackluster.
Right.
I mean, he did tip over a camper, so
Yeah.
What was that?
That was mayhem.
Those
for the
three
80s.
things are like Morris Minors or Robin Reliance, which you probably never encountered, but like on a drunken night out, 3 or 4 blokes and like
it looks like it's a wagon with like a tent on top of it.
Yeah, but they're usually pulled. They're being on motorways in the summer.
Mhm.
Like those things get hitched to the back of a car and get driven to a site.
Mhm.
And they frigging get in your way, and they take up. They're just wide enough to take up both sides of the road. So a narrow country road, all the traffic stops.
Oh, of
And these
course.
things chunder along 40 miles an hour, and you're just like, at most.
Ugh.
And you're just like, oh, come on, man. It's that season, caravan friggin' season.
You're in it now, right?
Yeah.
Dude, all right.
Oh, I've
here's
already
the plan.
encountered it, mate. I'm out in the road twice a week for stuff, and already started seeing the friggin' caravans and motorhomes. And
So what you do is you get you some tattered leather and then a long black mohawk wig, and then just go out there and start and they'll fuck off.
They'd be like, oh, let me show you my boobs.
Oh man.
Talking of which-
speaking of boobs, god damn. That
They were
was
nice.
probably one of the goofiest, gratuitous scenes ever.
It was definitely spliced in there or something.
yeah, that was like, oh, we need something. We need boobs. We need to
straight
have
up.
boobs. Let's just do this.
I am very pleased that they did it, though.
They were nice.
Very pleased. They were great.
Yeah, not gonna complain. I just think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're gonna save her by grabbing the front of her dress. Oops, you're dead. Totally didn't mean to see your tits.
That was great.
Yeah.
She just like gets thrown up against like a tree or something, and she's just
Yeah.
like blah 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 blah.
And they're proper firm, like they're
Great.
they're not sagging or anything, and they're not fake, and you're just like, okay, at least that's got me interest for 10 seconds or so.
Spent much more time focusing on that than I did anything else. I mean, I'll tell you that.
Oh, and the pissing scene. We'll have right. Let's get to
Oy
that. That
vey.
was
Pretty fucking good.
I feel like I
was
could smell it, which was bad. Like when we were watching it, I was just like, ugh.
Declan's character is just bonkers mad. Even before he got possessed, he was just nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely
so pissy.
off his tits.
Like, fuck you talking to the bishop. Fucking turd. He's in the rectory. Where's that? Fuck you is where it's at.
Yeah. What the fuck is
He
this?
was just crazy for no reason. It's like, dude, I'm just stopping in. Like, hook a brother up. What are you doing?
Yeah, and that's
Like,
a whole
no, Yankee son of a bitch.
Yeah, and then I really think there should have been more pissing scenes with us. There should have been people lined up on their knees, getting the glory of Rawhead. Like that would have been
more pissing scenes, huh?
Yes.
The end. It should have been he falls into the crypt, and then it's just blah.
Just nothing but like a pool of piss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think honestly he should have a few people lined up. Well, like he should have been converting. People should have been getting converted as we went along. He only converted two and a half people. And there was a whole plot line of everyone coming under the cult of Rawhead, and that would have made more sense to his character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he didn't fucking kill very many people.
No, so it wasn't a monster on a rampage because he should have torn through everybody like a dose of salts.
Yeah.
So he kills a handful of people just randomly, and he only converts one or two people with the item that's a method of his destruction, like we talked about. Like, oh fuck it, I give up.
Mm-hmm.
But if he had been converting people and then pissing on them, and they're all like the glory of Rawhead, and then going about and bringing them sacrifices to eat,
yeah,
there would have just been a more gripping movie.
Yeah, definitely.
We could have had a really great like oh god damn it, the fucking Michael Myers detective guy.
Oh, Shannon? Was it Shannon?
No, god damn it, the Austin Powers, where he like came out of cryo freeze and he peed for like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah,
like that's what Rawhead Rex could have been. He could have been just like he was like for a millennia buried under that goddamn rock. He has to take a leak. So now the mechanics of this is what I'm sort of getting at here. Is he on like a conveyor belt where he's moving, or is he walking while he's peeing, or are they all like switching places?
Yeah,
oh no,
they're all they all line up
and he just rotates. It's like a sprinkler.
Yep. No, like and then the next they move along, go grab more victims. The next all come up.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. I think that's how it should have been.
You just stand like a lazy
That
Susan.
should have been a comedy.
It would have been a million times better if it was, and I guarantee there'd be more of a cult following than there is now.
Yeah,
because I mean that's the thing with horror comedy. Like horror comedy will live forever, like period. Like probably longer than like horror movies, because it's the best of everything. And yeah, if this would have been not as taken seriously, just like they would have dived into the campy side, I think this would be almost toe and toe with like American Werewolf in London.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you even suggest that?
I know. Okay, I'll admit, as I was saying that, I'm like, wow,
that's
too my own ass. But just like I honestly think if it had
been a high hill to climb, let's be honest. But
yeah, I think if it would have had that twist, I mean, it's nowhere near as good. Like, period. Like, I say what you will about,
but there's
John
so
Landis,
much potential.
That is one of the greatest fucking movies ever made.
It's great.
This could have been a distant.
It could have been Killer Clowns from Outer Space type goofiness.
Yeah.
Amped up.
Yeah.
It could have been that.
Yeah.
And there's so much potential. Like there's so many threads that could have been pulled and brought together, but it was just all over the place. And you just have to wonder who looks at this And did they wait to the end of the movie before looking at it, or is there not a certain point where like looking as it progresses, going, "This is
I'm
going
sure
right
no one
or
was
it's going
even paying
wrong"?
attention. They were just all fucking high on cocaine, like, let's make a movie, kids. And then it came out, and they're like, oh god, I need another
It's like a
job.
John Corbin piece picture or something. Like, let's just pump it out. Go, go, go.
Yeah.
But were you excited for the prospect of Rawhead Rex 2?
Oh god, no.
Because you had your like, if they could have shoehorned another cliche in, I think they would have struggled. But they definitely, oh, he's dead, but he's not dead. Cliche was just like, oh god, no more.
Right. I was okay with the movie up until the ending. That really wonderfully bad 80s like light shit. Like just even as a kid, that shit just didn't work.
The Highlander lightning is just,
it's so
that's what I call it.
It was like the leftover artwork from Raiders of the Lost Ark at the end.
You're giving it a lot of credit. I was thinking more like The Last Starfighter.
Whoa, that's a great film, god damn it.
Compared to fucking
stand by
Indiana Jones. Come on.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
That's
true. That's true. No, it was horrible because like how was that even hurting him? Like, let's just say he falls down and it's the weight of the stones that lands on him that is what killed him, or the power of the vagina or whatever it was that like knocked him out or something. Why would he be dead? Like, he survived a millennia buried under a goddamn rock.
But the vagina stole all his power.
Oh,
that's why it was a shriveled husk.
Oh,
but they've done it before.
It's like he got married then, is what you're saying. Okay. I identify.
In there. Some means they're still going through it.
I understand now.
They'll get you, man. They fucking get you.
Yeah.
Oh god. What's
you
his
chose
face?
this.
I forgot his character's name. I forgot to write it down because I really don't care. He was a bit of a wooden plank.
Which one?
I'm here to research, the archaeologist dude.
Oh, Howard Hollenbeck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How calmly did he take his son getting killed, like in front of him? And also fight with that gate. Oh my god.
Who built a gate like that?
They're all over the show. That's proper.
Really?
Like, yeah.
I was gonna say, I believe.
See, if you're hiking, right?
You're fucking
you have to go
Irish,
through one of those gates. You have to take your bergen off and like push it through it. They're a pain in the arse, but it's to keep the livestock because you're going through farmers' fields, so it's designed to stop sheep and cows going through.
Yeah,
but it wasn't that difficult. Like, he made it like he was actually holding the gate
just
for
fine the
himself.
first time.
I do feel like it was more of like the horror of it that was stopping him than the function of the gate, because he was just like, oh, I know that this creature is going to kill my son before I can even get to him, and if I could get to him, I couldn't stop him. So it was just, I really think he was just like overcome at that moment with that at the gate point. He was just like, oh god, oh my god, oh fuck, like losing it.
And then he got over it real fast.
Yeah, and then afterward he was like, he was kind of a bitch anyway.
Yeah, I was like,
he never really
he got remotely angry at the police. Oh, my son's dead, and then he was over it. Like back into researching again.
I understand how I feel.
But what is he supposed to do, Colin? Just feel bad? He's got a life to live.
Right?
He has aspirations and goals.
And presumably his dinger still works, so he can pump out another one.
Hang on, I'm the psychopath out of this group. I'm the one that switches off like that and can watch someone and not give a shit. But when you're showing emotion like that, you kind of think, maybe kind of attached. But the other two, Elaine and the daughter, were like, didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
they were just in shock the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a survival situation. Like, everyone was going to die. If it wasn't for the American, everyone would have died.
Yeah, that's true.
What's his face? The detective when he got turned.
Yeah,
that was actually doing a good scene, to be honest.
Dude, I loved it when he just like did the take of him in the car looking out the window, went back to the other driver, came back, and there's Rawhead just standing there. I'm just like, yes, get him. And he's like ripping him out of the car, and the dude driving isn't driving. He's just like, oh, I still have like 2 more points out of this 3-point turn to finish. So could you hurry up and get him, please? I gotta.
Right.
I think as well, the action that is so slow. Like ponderously slow, even for a horror movie. And I could have sped up the film a bit, maybe to get that wee bit of terror, but it was just so paint by numbers. It's like somebody joins either a dance troupe or goes to a martial arts lesson for the first time, and you're doing the step 1, step 2, step 3. It's kind of like that every action scene.
Straight up.
It was painful.
And there was a series of films back then that were like that, though. I mean, that were just sort of like really slow pace with the editing. I think they were just padding for time ultimately.
Well, that's what the horror trope of, the girl running through the woods always tripping over herself. That's where that came from.
Yeah.
Because you have to, and then things running after, trip, But this one was so painful to watch, and I don't know why it annoyed me more than other movies, I guess.
I really didn't get that because I knew coming into it what it was going to be like again.
Yeah.
And so I actually really enjoyed watching it this time.
Yeah, I had a lot more fun this time.
Like the first time I couldn't even sit through it. I got frustrated. But
I just years ago, I just what the hell is this? And zoned out. Even when I tried to watch this again, I tried to watch it on Friday night and I dozed off. And then I had to freaking wake up. And then start again.
I have to watch it again. Damn you, cold medicine.
Oh dear. I was just zoned out, and I'm just like, right, okay, oh shit, right, fuck it. Here we go. Back to the start. Maybe that's why I'm more annoyed this time.
That's fair. I can totally understand that. I would not want to watch this multiple times in this setting.
Yeah. It's horrible. However, let's finish on a positive.
Good.
This, I think, was Barker's first experience of the movie studios. Yep. And how your work can get absolutely butchered and just made into an absolute parody of itself on screen. This is what made him resolve to not in my watch ever again. And when it came to Hellraiser, because let's be honest, that's his baby.
Yeah.
Of all his projects, that's his that's the epitome. That's what he loves the most, the creating. Like, you can even tell in his voice any later projects is like secondary to that Hellraiser. He was not letting anyone mess with that movie. If it wasn't for Rawhead Rex, Hellraiser could have been the Rawhead Rex.
I knew you were going to say that, and it still fucking hurts so much.
It feels dirty.
Right. I need a rape shower now. Fuck.
I need to have Rawhead Rex pee on me now.
Yeah, just need some Rawhead pee to fucking cleanse ourselves of these dirty thoughts. But that could have happened.
Yeah.
That would have been so devastating.
If Hellraiser had been the first movie put out, the first adaptation. More people coming in. Welcome. We're just going to the end, just coming out at the end as we're sort of wrapping up and dribbling off.
I'll sum it all
We're
up.
in our final shake.
Lot of piss.
Final shake of the little thing. But yeah, that could have happened. So this movie provided a really important incentive to Barker.
Yeah, this is like, why you beat off before you go on a date, because the first one's never that good, and then the second one you last a little bit.
Also, you don't want that awkward boner as well,
Yeah.
And then you want to be a bit more critical. So if you're going in like a flipping dog and hate, everything seems like a good idea. Like, that explains my 2 marriages. Should have pumped it out more. Oh god, dozy bastard. Next, no, there's no next time. We're fucking
Yeah, I was like, come on, man.
You fucking two, right? If I start getting stupid ideas, I got again.
Yeah, I'll fucking come across the pond and beat your ass. Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, that's the pact that's being made. When we're doing that kind of
See,
thing.
I'm just gonna let you smack your face. Like, just start punching your own dick. I don't care. Like, I'll just stand back and watch. We've got an ocean between us. For me, it's like a good movie. So I just get to watch pain and suffering.
Fair enough. You've seen that do that. But yeah, thankfully, it happened with this movie.
Yeah,
and that
definitely
gave Barker the incentive to go, right, I am fucking making sure the next one goes right.
Mm-hmm.
After Hellraiser 2, I don't know what happened to him. Did he, like...
Well, he did, Cabal, Nightbreed, and that wasn't horrible. So...
Do you remember the review?
Dude, I am so fucking excited. I've never seen the theatrical cut, and Shout Factory's doing a double disc release this summer of the director's cut, like an upgrade to 4K, as well as the theatrical cut from an actual 32 print, I think. So I want to say I'm excited to see it, but I'm nervously excited to see it. Like, I got that shit pre-ordered. I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, I always imagine it in the Cabal cut, like the latest cut that he released that he was happy with. That's how I always think of it. And so and that wasn't what it was. So yeah, you're right.
And it's so rough to watch that. Like, it's great, but you have to really want to watch it to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's just that's together. It's
it's like a goat at a time. Beautiful to dailies, and it's like, oh god,
harsh transitions for sure.
Yeah.
But there you go. One thing's definitely, this has been an interesting journey. We have a couple of movies and a TV series to go before completing this. Little segue was started. Definitely, Barker and his translation to screen, or trying to get his mind in the visual, is a challenge. Definitely. And even his short stories have always got this deeper message. Even superficial, he's got something going on there that makes you think more. Do you think there's ever going to be, obviously maybe not this, but 20 years down the line, do you think there's ever going to be a visionary director that will get it, and we'll get the Barker movie that we're...
Fuck no.
Yeah, I don't know how you could do it, because the thing is, like, to get the full idea and the full, like, just range of everything from a story, like, from him, it would have to be done by him. But I don't think he's got it in him to do it again.
Oh no, he's let's be honest, Barker's, he's on his way. He's like semi-retired, and he's just painting away, doing his time in. I don't think he'd ever be in a studio again. I don't think he could, health-wise, could handle it anyway. It'd probably kill him.
Probably.
That would do him.
Actually, you know what? If anybody could pick up a Barker property and do Barker justice, I honestly think it would be what's her name? Ashley Lawrence.
What did she do?
She was the girl in the first Hellraiser. Is that her name? I don't remember, but she's like essentially his protege. Like, if you've ever seen, if you've ever seen her paintings, like, she is basically like Clive Barker Jr. She has like the same sensibilities, same artistic style. Like, I think if anybody could do it, it'd be Ashley Lawrence.
Has she directed anything? That's one thing. It's all right having the vision, but
yeah, but you don't need to be a good director to be a good director. You need a good crew. Everybody knows that.
You don't need to know what you're doing.
No, not at all. Film. Yeah, Ashley Lawrence. Yeah. I mean, it's fucking true. Like, there's a lot of first-time filmmakers that, their first project is just amazing because of the crew they have around them.
Right.
So, man, I'd love to see it.
That was the thing, though. I think that's why we had the crew. That's a good thing to talk about. His theater group. That's when he decided, when he went for Doug Bradley, when he got the makeup artist. He got his crew together
Mhm.
for Hellraiser.
I mean,
This
they've
was
been
just
making
something
films
he-
together since college. So
No,
No,
they
no,
have
no.
been
They were theater
doing
group.
shit together since grade
Salem-
school.
oh yeah.
Like,
I mean,
the
Salome
plays
and the
and stuff.
Forbidden, they used all the same people, and those were like his before ever doing films,
Ah, gotcha.
which were great.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
But that's what I mean. He got those guys together.
I
He's
loved
like,
him.
no, I want my trusted buddies with me
Mhm.
for his baby.
yeah,
That was it. I think this movie though, that's what made him go, nah, I'm putting my foot down. I'm making sure that this one's done right.
Yeah, I can see that.
There we go then.
all right.
That's kind of it. Any final thoughts?
I'm glad it won't be for another like 6 or 7 years that I watch this again. I can definitely go that long without watching it again.
I would say read the short story because it is infinitely better.
Yeah.
And it adds all of those layers that we sort of went on diatribes about, but they're ever present as subtext. And it's just a much better experience as of a story than the film ever even tried to be.
Yeah.
And then you can sort of see the film in a different light once you actually know the real story behind what the film ignored.
Yeah.
I feel like you get a little context.
And it's an actual short, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's like 40 pages.
Yeah, it's real quick read.
You can skim through it like last minute before doing a review.
Yeah.
Who would do that?
Yeah, definitely none of us.
Yeah, because I'll be unprofessional.
I totally read it.
We're time
I
lunch
even
up
took
here.
notes on it. You fuckers. You need to do the homework too.
I
your
did,
idea.
God damn it. I finished it the night before last.
Never change, because it wouldn't be the same otherwise. The minute we start getting up our own arses and like super professional, is it time to stop? It's like, piss off.
Well, it's like I always do it thinking if I wait until last second to read it and watch it, I'm gonna remember everything. I never do, but I always think that's gonna be the case.
That's scary.
That's why I read it like 2 weeks in advance, so then I can just sit and marinate in like my subconscious into it, and then I'll just have something to say after it. But you got to marinate in the urine.
Yeah, definitely.
Of Rawhead Rex before you talk about it.
Like Declan did.
Oh man, he was all about that shit.
Marinated.
That's like fucking you usually only get that kind of shit on your birthday, so that was pretty cool for him.
Gross.
Happy
I am not into water sports at all. Oh god damn it, I can't handle it. Just watching him and watching the stream go across his face it was too much for me. I couldn't. It's like, God, show me the insides of a human body, like rip limbs off and gore and guts, but you start peeing on people and I'm out. Like, no, thank you. Because I can just smell it. Like I know there's like this deep ammonia smell. Ugh.
Ooh, what
if you haven't
because-
hydrated enough? Like, if somebody's got a deep ammonia
He was
smell and he
under
go
a
to
fucking
doctors?
rock for millennia. You know he had deep ammonia smell. Ugh.
Yeah, but what if like he was eating asparagus the whole time?
He was just nibbling.
You just like reach up, pull a shoot
Yeah.
down, take the chow down.
It's like a Bugs Bunny
potatoes.
cartoon, like from
There'll be a
underneath.
potato sort of smell, like a vodka, just growing all the potatoes. It's Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking great.
There you go. Hope you've enjoyed that, folks.
Rawhead Rex, people.
Yeah, it's an experience. You got to experience. It's one of them movies you got to experience. But
It'll
definitely
make
read the
you
short story
appreciate
first.
others.
Definitely don't miss out the short story. It's you can understand the frustrations and what the hell is happening.
Yeah.
But obviously, lads, thanks for joining in. This is a lot of fun. Thanks to everyone in chat. Fuck you, Oliver.
Goddamn Scots.
God's sake. But yeah, as always, come up to date with the channel. Do the typey clicky things. And until next time, keep it creepy. Keep it horrific.
Oh, keep it.